Hello, my name is Juan Martín Castro, and I am here with my partner Abel Lagraña. We are both electromechanical engineering students at Universidad Tecnologica Nacional, Facultad Regional Paraná. We are going to present our final project for English 2, which is about smart houses and the application of domotics in order to reduce energy waste. Abel is going to present the introduction for the beginning of the presentation.
Hello, I am Abel, and I am going to start talking about energy waste. We neighborhood waste by amounts of energy because of the inefficient use of it. Energy production also generate pollution and such as greenhouse gases. This means that if energy is not used efficiently, a greater production of energy to supply consumption will be needed, and because of the more environment pollution will be generated. In order to achieve a reduction of unnecessary spending and creating the opportunity to improve lifestyle, and system called is domotic. Domotic is the home automation. The system is the integration of technology in the designs of homes and automation in house. Is a house with devices, appliances, and sensors that communicate with each other and with the possibility of being controlled remotely. These functions allow people to control their electricity consumption and make decisions about safety and comfort. It helps maintain a healthy environment because it intelligently uses electric energy. It's true, for example, in first term, maximize people and life quality, integrate technology in housing designs, and improve about safety and comfort, and finally promote healthy environment.
Well, the purpose of the presentation is analyze the results of different studies about home automation and how does it affect users' quality of life. Also inform about how home automation can help to achieve 3 of the 17 targets of the United Nations Global Agenda called Sustainable Development Goals, or SDG. These 3 targets are good health and well-being, sustainable cities and communities, and climate action. To maintain an order in the presentation, it is organized as follows. Section 2, home automation systems, basic components and operation. Describes the construction of a home automation system, its energy consumption, and the effect of this product on the environment. It is divided in 3 subsections. Parts of a home automation system, energy consumption, and carbon footprint calculation. In section 3, which is called using home automation, it is about the impact of the system on users' quality of life. Also, advantage and disadvantage are introduced. It is also divided in 3 subsections, which are improved well-being, community cases with home automation, and advantages and disadvantages. Now I am going to introduce the section number 2. In section number 2, we are going to talk about the home automation system's basic components and operation. In an automated home, there are many parts that work simultaneously to keep the system running smoothly. All these parts must be managed by different systems in order to keep a consumption stable. And now Abel is going to describe the parts of an automated home.
Well, in the first place, home automation system must have different parts and interconnected systems, such as temperature controls, lighting controls, security controls, audio-video subsystem, gate controls, and data community security. Home energy management system is presented, and the system is classified in the following subsystem. In the one place, the smart meter, which is responsible for collecting the information of the house through the smart plugs. This is used, for example, if an appliance in the house is consuming too much energy. The system will detect which appliance it is and something will be done about it. In the second place, the communication device which are necessary to transmit the data between your device and the users, and this is achieved with device that can use the internet or some technology to transmit information. And the free place, the full device, and this device group are the electronic equipment and the communication equipment that allow recording and controlling the appliance. And finally, the management device are composite of the hard disk to save the collected information and the computing, the power to process the data.
There is one more system called Smart Home System for energy efficiency, known as the acronym SESAME. This system contains the same subsystem as HEMS, but with the difference that it allows the different appliances to be turned on or off. This system works differently. The system works different because the adjustment of the home interior conditions or security functions are manual. In the other two cases, these adjustments are carried out by a microcontroller. At this point, we can divide automatic houses in two main categories, those with a microcontroller and those without it. Now Abel is going to talk about the energy consumption of an automatic house based in the management of a microcontroller.
Well, following the Juan Martin size, in the search for energy saving and experimental low-cost setup based on microcontroller, and the name of the microcontroller can be seen in the presentation, was carried out in a 14th geographical area in this experiment. And in order to generalize the results to any parts of the world, and the microcontroller is connected to various sensors, for example, temperature sensors, light dependent storage resistors, and smoke sensors, solid state relay, and finally an electrical underflow heating system. And now Juan is going to explain how the system works.
Well, the last mentioned elements are used by the microcontroller in a smart way to reduce inefficient energy costs. For example, if the light sensor notice that it's getting dark, the microcontroller will gradually increase the lights of the house in the rooms that are being used, so energy is saved since not all the available power is used, only the necessary amount. Thus, small energy savings accumulate over the time, resulting in an important change in the overall consumption. After monitoring energy consumption, in the first 8 months of the experiment, it was found that there was a reduction of 15% in the energy consumption. Like I say, during 8 months of use. Well, now Abel is going to talk about the carbon footprint, and he's going to analyze how does it affects the environment.
Well, following this thematic, the carbon footprint describes how much carbon pollution is emitted and the different components in the system. Not only during the energy consumption, but also during the entire life cycle of the components. To have a future with cleaner and more sustainable cities and communities, the carbon footprint must be considered and is very important. Life cycle assessment, your LCA, is the method used to measure the effects of the system on environment. This method is based on analyzing the effects in products on the environment, a life cycle in this product, and the life cycle begins with obtain material from in the nature, then they processing, and finally transportation. After these initial steps, the cycle moves through manufacturing and shipping, and use, reuse, possible repairs, recycling, and finally ends when the product is discarded, your product is wasted.
Well, the LCA results shows that in an automated house, the 99.4% of the emissions occur during the assembly and the use phase. Well, the study is divided into 18 indicators as shown in this picture here. This picture shows the environmental impact of the system on different areas. In the graphic A, we can see the relative emissions of each component relatively to each other. And in the graphic B, absolute emissions are illustrated considering the use phase on the left bar and without the use phase on the right bar. As we can see, the devices affect the environment in different percentages. The most affected index is marine toxicity, and the second largest index is human toxicity. Now we are going to talk about the section 3, which is about using the home automation. When it comes to designing a secure and stable system, the most important aspect is to test the system in operation, because provides information about areas for improvement. Now Abel is going to talk about the well-being.
Well, commenting or following in this topic, it's very important aspect that home automation has is the security it offers. It might be the main reason with the people use it, and the security is provided with different sensors, such as, for example, smoke detectors, magnetic sensors, and fingerprint sensors. This ultimate sensor, this is a sensor are used in order to avoid the access to unauthorized persons to the entire home in this automation system. And Juan Martin will continue in the next topic.
Okay, we are now going to talk about the community cases with the home automation. There are 3 cases that we are going to discuss in order to analyze how home automation can help if it is used in a large scale. Abel is going to introduce the first case.
Well, the first case analysis is the case of Chongqing in China. A survey was carried out with 246 consumers, as the consumer on the survey was carried out because energy consumption in China has doubled in the last 20 years as a result of the greater number of electrical appliances in homes. To solve this problem, the Chinese government took measures such as improving power plants and promoting the sales of efficient devices and prohibiting inefficient equipment, and educate the population about energy consumption. And this population was aware that energy consumption, and this is a challenge, and was willing to make change in this regard. And they were informed about the price of energy, but there was a lack of knowledge about how to save energy at home, how much each appliance consumes, and what habits they should change. And this point is where home automation can be used, because you could know how much appliance consumes, and you know if it should be changed, you make any modifications, and most importantly, that home automation controls in the device efficiently, of reducing electricity consumption when not is the device used. And using automation, it will be possibility to better know how much each device consumes, and this know if it should be changed or of if any modification should be made. And finally, this problem on China can be addressed. And new Juan Martin will say the following case.
Okay, the second case is a study on the use of smart meters on a large scale, carried out in the city of Västerås in Sweden. In this city, a survey was carried out on the information that is given to consumers on how to reduce electricity consumption, prices, and other important information. This is because despite the devices have become more efficient, these elements that consume electricity are increasingly purchased, resulting in higher consumptions. In recent years, smart meters have been installed in homes around the world due to their great practicality to collect data on electricity consumption. Contrary to what was expected, the use of smart meters in the city did not help to significantly reduce electricity consumption. The survey revealed that this was due to the fact that these devices did not show enough information about household consumptions, and consumers are not in a position to make change with information provided by the smart meters. Accordingly, it is possible to see that smart meters are important devices to reduce the consumption of a house. But the information it gives and how it is given to the consumer must be reviewed. Surveys like the one in this case can be very important tool to have feedback that helps on the improvement of and the development of home automations for the correct use of energy. Now Abel is going to introduce the third and last case.
Well, following what Juan Martin says about in this case, the new case is again in China, sorry. This time is in Shanghai. Shanghai is the most densely populated city in this country. And in this case, the study is based on the fact that the consumer sector is the one that contributes the most to high carbon emission. There is a need for a decrease in the energy consumption of this building, and 131 131 homes were studied in two different buildings where devices were installed that mediate and control electricity consumption. The results showed that households without any home display consume 19% more than those that we have this device, and also following this trend, houses with the home display have a 12% reduction in standing consumption. Once again, home automation has the potential to reduce electricity consumption.
Okay, introducing the last section of using home automations, we are discussing about the advantages and disadvantages of the system. I am starting with the advantages. Well, different functions of the home automations that provides consumers the flexibility of monitoring its electricity consumption and making changes in order to save electricity have been presented before. However, smart home automations not only provides benefits of efficient energy management, but also provides benefits such improved lifestyle, security, and safety. Some of these topics were mentioned before. Studies carried out in cities such as Singapore, where there exist programs to control energy consumption, showed reduction of energy consumption by the 20% after implementing home energy management. And now Abel is going to talk about the disadvantages of the system.
Well, I will talk about the disadvantage. We mainly find two disadvantages principal. Changing the lifestyle of people at home to save money is very difficult, and since they don't know it or ignore it, it doesn't seem like a very big saving for them. And connecting to this also automating house require a very large initial investment that not everyone wants to pay. An investment in home automation does not pay itself back in a short period of time. And in addition to this this simulation showed that in some case the environment investment in terms of or in CO2 payback and home automation pays its back after the 11 months. And this means that the reduction in the emission of CO2 occurs after 11 months using the system, in this system, the home automation.
Okay, as a conclusion, I would like to say that it is possible to make a striking difference in terms of electrical consumption of a house if domotics is used. It is also important that more ecological materials are used to create the electronic components that make up the smart house. This is due to the fact that the emission of gases by consumed energy is one of the weakest points in the HEMS system if it is used to reduce pollution. In other words, the consumption of household appliances can be reduced surprisingly, but the consumption of the isolated automation system must be improved.
Well, that's it. Thank you very much for your attention. And these are the fonts to use in this paper.
That's all. Thank you very much for all.
Thank you.